The first thing Amara noticed about the University of Lagos wasn't the size. It was the noise. Noise from buses coughing at the gate. Noise from students dragging boxes across cracked hostel floors. Noise from mothers giving last-minute advice, as if advice could stop adulthood from arriving. Amara stood still in the middle of it all, holding her admission letter like it might disappear if she blinked. Mass communication. Her name printed boldly beneath it. First in her family to enter a federal university. Back home in Enugu, they had slaughtered a chicken the night her admission came. Her father had told everyone at the junction. Her mother had cried and prayed over her head. Now she was here, alone. And the campus felt like a city that swallowed people whole. Folarin did not walk. He glided. And that was the first thing Amara thought when she saw him during orientation week. He wore confidence the way others wore backpacks. Crisp white shirt, expensive watch, easy smile. Students greeted him with familiarity. "Chairman?" someone shouted. He waved without stopping. Amara didn't know who he was then. She only knew that when his eyes paused briefly on her, something tightened in her stomach. Later, she learned his name. Final year finance student, student union treasurer, influential father, powerful friends, campus royalty. And somehow, by the second week of school, he was sitting beside her in the cafeteria. "You look like you're trying to figure out if this place will eat you alive," he said casually. She blinked. "I'm not scared." He smiled slightly. "Good. Fear is expensive here." That was how it started. Malik had been on that campus long enough to recognize patterns. He saw the way Folarin leaned in when he talked, the way freshers were dazzled by proximity to power, the way influence disguised itself as affection. Malik was in 300-level political science. Not loud, not flashy. But he saw things. He saw the broken projectors in lecture halls that were under repair every semester. He saw hostel renovations that were announced but never completed. He saw the budget sheets that didn't add up. And he saw Amara laughing too freely beside a boy whose name appeared too often in places it shouldn't. One afternoon, he walked up to her outside the faculty building. "You should be careful," he said quietly. She looked at him, irritated. "Excuse me?" "Just be careful." "Of what?" "Power," he replied, and walked away. She rolled her eyes. But that night, lying on her bunk while her roommates gossiped about influencers and midterms, the word echoed. Power. By mid-semester, everyone knew. Folarin and Amara. They attended parties together. He took her off campus to restaurants she had only seen on Instagram. He introduced her to people who mattered. She began to glow. Her clothes improved. Her confidence deepened. Her laughter grew louder. But university love has layers. And some layers hide cracks. Zainab appeared on a Thursday afternoon. Final year law. Sharp tongue. Sharper mind. She walked straight up to Amara outside the auditorium. "You're the new one," she said, almost amused. "New what?" "New girl." Amara straightened. "If you have something to say, say it." Zainab studied her for a moment. "Enjoy the attention," she said softly. "You just don't confuse it for permanence." And she walked away. Amara stood frozen. That night, she asked Folarin about her. He laughed it off. "Old story," he said. "Jealousy is loud." She wanted to believe him, so she did. Malik didn't laugh. He was busy. For months, he had been quietly collecting proof. Screenshots, transaction trails, inconsistencies in financial statements. The student union budget showed millions allocated for infrastructure improvements, but the hostels still leaked during rain. Where was the money going? Every trail circled back to one office. Treasurer, Folarin Adeyemi. Malik wasn't interested in drama. He was interested in truth. But truth is rarely quiet. The biggest event of the semester, White Night, music thumped across campus. Lights flashed across decorated lawns. Influencers posted in real time. Amara wore a white dress Folarin bought her. She felt like she belonged to a world she once watched from afar. "Trust me," he whispered in her ear as they stood beneath glowing lights. She hesitated. She didn't know why. Across the lawn, Malik connected his laptop to the main projector screen meant for visuals. The music cut abruptly. The screen flickered. Then numbers filled the night. Transaction logs, approval signatures, highlighted withdrawals. At the top of the page, approved by treasurer. Gasps rippled through the crowd. Students leaned forward. Folarin's smile disappeared. "This is fake," he said sharply. Malik stepped forward calmly. "It's not." The air changed. The party dissolved into shouting, phones recording, security pushing through the crowd. And Amara stood in the middle of it all, between the boy she loved. Oh, and the truth she couldn't ignore. The next evening, Malik was attacked outside his hostel. Not killed, but beaten. A warning. The campus buzzed with fear. Rumors of cult involvement resurfaced. Students walked in groups. Amara's chest tightened with guilt. She confronted Folarin in his car. "Did you know?" she asked. He didn't answer immediately. And in that silence, she understood everything. Investigations began. The university administration could not ignore the noise. Evidence surfaced. Sponsors withdrew. Friends distanced themselves. The boy who once moved through campus like a king now walked alone. One evening, he found Amara sitting near the lagoon. "I didn't mean for it to go this far," he said quietly. She looked at him. "Did you love me?" He swallowed. "I cared." "That's not the same thing." She stood up and left him there. Malik recovered. He continued speaking up, not angrily, not violently, but firmly. Amara started attending the meetings, not because she was in love, but because she was awake. They talked often, not about romance, about responsibility, about fear, about what it meant to grow up. One evening under a mango tree, she asked him, "Does doing the right thing always hurt this much?" He smiled faintly. "Yes." They sat in silence, not dramatic, not cinematic, just real. Suspensions were issued. Policies were reviewed. Student oversight committees were formed. Folarin left campus quietly before graduation. Zainab graduated with honors and a job offer waiting. Malik became a name students respected. And Amara? She changed the most. She arrived on campus dreaming of belonging. She left that semester understanding that youth is not about proximity to power. It is about deciding who you will become when power tempts you. Years later, when she would tell the story, she would not speak of the parties or the glamour. She would speak of that night under bright lights when truth interrupted music. Because that was the night the semester broke them. And the night they finally began to grow.